Welcome back to my kitchen and welcome back to this citadel of gastronomic excellence. I'm telling you, I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a good mood because this week I've been absolutely inundated with a comment. Paul asks, how do I chop onions like a pro? I want to be a pro, I want to look like a chef. How do I chop them like a pro? Let me tell you, Paul, you've got to take it back to bare basics. We've got to strip it to the bone. If you want to build a house of cards, you need a stable table, mate. So, this is what we're going to do. Let me just sharpen this knife. First of all, I want to talk to you about sharpening. It's a very important element of anything you cut. Right here, I have 3 different types of sharpening device. This is one that you might see in Sainsbury's or Tesco's, costs a £5. Stay away from this at all costs. It has 2 pieces of metal that go inside it and it will rip your knives to pieces. You want to stay away from this. So, what you also have is this, and it's a stone. It comes in many forms, but basically, if you have a blunt edge, then you use your stone to get a nice sharp edge on your knife. That's what you do. And then once you've got your edge on your knife, then you move to this. It's your sharpening steel. Now we're going to show you as slowly as possible. You drag your knife down at a 15-degree angle. You get faster. Also, if that becomes too tricky, you can invert your sharpening steel, hold it firm on a cloth there, maybe if you need a cloth, and you can do it the same way like this. You can sharpen your knife like that, and this will keep your edge sharp. With knives, it's very important that you buy yourself a decent knife. This was probably about £70–80. It's by a manufacturer called Gustav Emil Ern, and it will last you a lifetime. I've had this knife 30 years and it's as sharp as the day I bought it. Anyway, forgetting all of those factors for one moment, let's take a look at the onions. So, I'm going to slow this right down. First thing you do is you cut this part off. Then you take a sliver of the root off, but don't take the full root off. There you go. And you can see this is just starting to fall. It's starting to fall off as I'm doing it. So put your root on the table and cut through your onion in half. Then what we're going to do is we're going to peel the onion. Now the very first thing we're going to learn is how to do a fine dice. I remember as a kid, I asked my mum once if she would take me to McDonald's, and she said she would make me a burger better than McDonald's. I can tell you, I waited all afternoon, and when I ran home from football, what I actually found was a great big lump of meat with bits of onion sticking out the side in between 2 pieces of square bread. I wasn't too pleased that afternoon, I can tell you. It wasn't as good as McDonald's. So, finally take the last bit of...
Not that we're advertising for McDonald's.
Not that we're advertising McDonald's. We grow up. We don't eat McDonald's anymore. We now make burgers better than McDonald's. So, now for your fine dice. What you want to do is you want to put it on the flat side and you hold your fingers back and you run along like this, trying to get in as many incisions as possible along your onion, all the way along. And then finally, when you've done all that, you're left with an onion that looks a little bit like that. You come along on the bottom and you run your knife through it like that once and twice. Then it's still got its shape. Then what you do is you finally dice your onion like so. There may be a couple of odd straggler big pieces, but by and large you've just chopped your first onion to the finest you've ever seen. Now you can see there, that's the kind of dice. If there is a few bits, you can just run your knife across it, but there you have your really, really fine dice. Now let me put that in the bowl. And let's do one more just so you can check it out again. This is the fine dice. Next up, what we'll do is we'll do some slices. So, I'll do it slightly faster this time. Strips all along. Use the sharpness of your knife. Don't use pressure. There's no need. If your knife is sharp, there's no need to use a lot of pressure. It is your knife, after all, that does all the work. We've got our fine dice now. There we go. Fine dice. And once again, if there's some stragglers, just run your knife across it like that, and there you go. So, there we got our fine dice. Now, let's take a look and let's do some just straight slicing. That comes off. There we go. We're going to take a bit of the root off again. We're going to cut through it again, like that, and it takes off the peel. This happens as you're doing it. Let me tell you as well, there are many tricks and tips and things that you can do to stop your eyes watering, but by and large, you can never stop your eyes watering. Even today my eyes still water. So, we're going to do some slices of onion now. With slices of onion, you come in at a slight angle to take the root out. You turn it round and you come in at a slight angle to take the root out. Then this part is very important. You put your fingers slightly in and you use this knuckle to guide the knife. You go up and down. The blade will never touch your fingernails. Don't keep your fingernails out like that. That would be catastrophic. You use your knuckle to guide, and you just cut like this, using the sharpness of your knife. And you go along, and you've got your. When you get to a certain point, you can turn it around, and you can start again. You can take all the time in the world, there's no need to. And then you've got perfect sliced onions. I'm going to put them in the bowl and we're going to do another one of those. And we'll do it with a bit more speed. I hope this is demonstrating how we do these perfectly. This is how I do it in the kitchen. I've been handed before now a great big sack of onions, and I've had to stand there for hours and hours and hours doing it, and this is the most efficient way, I can tell you. So we're going to come in, we are going to cut out a little bit of the root there. We're going to cut that part there, and that just releases all the elements of the onion, and then come across it like that, and there you've got your sliced onion. Put it in there. There we go. I think you find that it's the perfect diced onion, the perfect sliced onion, and I hope that was the perfect demonstration for you, Paul. God almighty. I always forget the last bit. If you've enjoyed this, let me know. Leave us a comment, give us a like, and if there's any suggestions, put it in the comment box below and I will do it right here in this kitchen. See you later.